Here we go. Well, welcome everybody to Podcast with Proxy number 5. It's a late night, but I'm just gonna take it nice and easy. Tonight's stream will just be a nice relaxing art one as I continue to make more panels for my own Twitch experience. And as I laid out in my tweets, and as you'll see in the title, I have my stream topics picked out, which is gonna be note-taking, candy, and oh so sweet Hololive, of course. We got into the whole one way, right? But here, let's just take it nice and easy for tonight. Gonna enjoy myself and have some fun. Let me just fix a few things around real quick. Oh. Something that's a little better. Yeah, I think it's a little bit more centered now. But here, let's just start off with how I'm going to do this. Basically, what I know that I'm going to be having to do is I need to still set up an intermission. Like, I have a few screens that I still need to set up. More specifically, I know I have intermission, starting soon, and stream ended that I still want to work on. Considering the fact that, well, I already have technical difficulties, which I think will be the most vital to me. But yeah, let's just see how this goes for tonight. I'm gonna take it nice and easy as I draw up. As always with this here, I am not a savant in Krita at all, or digital art, so I'll take any tips and don't expect too much from me now. Here. Let's start this off. So, hopefully everybody's been doing well enough tonight as well. At least for me where it is, I'm always streaming late at night because my work shifts always take me far on the night, always closing up more often than not. But hey, it's not a bad thing. So at the very least I get to separate that from my classes at uni, and I just get to relax, you know? Get to relax. Not stress myself too much about homework, just as long as I'm not working every single day. And, well, I'm here right now. Getting to start to make stuffed art once more. What's not to love, right? Now, what am I going to do for my intermission screen? I actually haven't thought about that yet. Well, first and foremost, I'll just start thinking myself, I have wires anyway. Because for intermission, at the very least, I know what I want to do is just like, you know, make it super obvious. Technical difficulties is pretty obvious too, so intermission should just say so as well. Intermission in big letters. I'll probably just blow that up with the text tool later. Oh, you know what? I should also fix my audio. I'm gonna turn it down just a bit more, since I'm not playing rhythm games and it's not the focus. Yeah, hopefully that's not too bad of a mix now. That'll probably just be rough draft enough, and then maybe I'll draw. Maybe I can draw an empty desk. An empty desktop where my computer is, and just cruising myself not right there. I think that's what I'm going to settle on. Let's see if I know how to draw a desk enough. But yeah, school hasn't been the biggest hassle for me recently. It's still like the opening fledgling weeks, so it's more just about actually laying out the schedule itself. and you know, getting used to new changes considering I'm still working at my part-time job. No, not part-time. It used to be part-time, full-time. Full-time, well, I've kind of bounced back and forth depending, but yeah, mainly the thing that I just need to worry about now is my studies. Been trying to work out my a good mix for my work schedule, especially too, considering how I really can't separate my time away from work. I really can't separate my time away from my schoolwork and prioritize work. While I do have to pay or shoulder as much as I can, otherwise, for our home, whatever, I still have my siblings to fall back on at the very least. Siblings and parents, of course. So I don't have to worry the most, though I still am contributing as much as I can for the family effort. I'm probably gonna want to move this. But hey, it's whatever for now. Might want to actually draw it out a little bit more and make it that much more dynamic. But school will come first, and with that, I need to make sure I'm always performing the best that I can when it comes to my online studies. Which is the first topic for tonight. How exactly do I take notes myself? For me, now I'll preface this as well with, we're doing online classes all throughout the semester, at least right for the first months at my uni, though they did say that they're going to play it by ear month by month, just about. And so for now, we are all going to be in full online classes for the foreseeable future. Now, what's the real big cravats with that, of course? Well, it's a very widely different environment, and depending on your teacher, technological illiteracy is quite a huge problem, honestly. There's a lot of people who don't know how to really even send out or even get to your email page, for instance, let alone know if they even have one. Sorry, I'm just eating some candy on the side. But because of that, it's a lot harder for both teachers and students. I'm especially feeling that burn because it's all because trying to get people who've never used their email before to try to communicate to you through it instead of just, walk in during office hours or such like that is a little bit of a hassle at times. I'm lucky that not all of my teachers this semester are like that, but hopefully that still does paint a good enough picture of one of the bigger problems that can happen, because it has happened in the past where teachers don't answer at all through their own email addresses or, any of the functions that come with it. And as such, it's a lot harder to actually ascertain, hey, what is the question? I'm trying to ask you a question here and it just isn't working, or I don't know how to do this thing and it just falls on deaf ears. Well, I can erase oh, that's not erasing. I can erase that intermission saying just because it was just me sketching out the draft. That's a little bit aside from the point. For me, while I don't mind using technology for online PDF textbooks or assignments and stuff like that, I do way better myself by just I learn the best by doing. If I can get hands-on with a subject, then that helps me out very much so. I know, for example, it's not my favorite class, for instance, or classes, but anything science related to where I actually had to do some of the lab stuff, I got by pretty well because I actually knew how to do it. Or because I did it physically on hand, and that learning association was just much easier on me. So for instance, we had to dissect the worm, for instance, in one of my biology classes early back then. Many years ago. Um, well, it wasn't the most interesting thing to me. I still remembered well enough, like, okay, here's this part of the worm, and this, etc., because I was the one actually using the knife to cut them open, and, like, seeing what's going on, and compared to the pictures and such like that. Or, how, for instance... do I want to draw myself in a gaming chair or a regular chair? You know, let's draw ourselves a gaming chair real quick. Time to get up a reference. But oh, I am sitting in a gaming chair, but it's just thinking about drawing up a regular chair itself. But for me, it's a lot easier to learn by doing, and for a good amount of my classes, for instance, I'm taking my Japanese classes right now. Intermediate Japanese is just the best that I've got, and so as such, especially for languages, it feels a whole lot more different and out of my element if I'm not able to actually, you know, get to talk one-on-one in person with my teacher or with the other students that I'm learning with. It's a huge problem because I want to do better, like, I want to do better in the class, but it's a lot more cumbersome, I think would be the right word to use. Like, yeah, to try to email back and forth, the mock conversation that we're having instead of actually just having it in person, for instance. Or, well, there's a software called Zoom which we're using, which I didn't know about before, but it's basically like a quick way to do Skype or so. I think it's paired with just our school emails and such, so we didn't have to worry too much about it, because it was really like we click on the email link that they sent us, and then we're basically in the class already. Nice and neat. However, it's like trying to do a language online versus in person just feels so weird, especially after already doing a year and a half of it in person, of like getting to actually like have the conversations with my teacher, get that real-time feedback in them. And especially for the languages, it's the pronunciation part that I feel like I'm struggling upon the most. Am I actually pronouncing this word right? Am I saying it like with the right intonation and inflection? How is it coming out when I'm saying the word? Because to me, I feel like I am getting it way wrong. I'm drawing this way tilted, aren't I? Let's just restart this. Or, we'll draw it on a second layer, actually. Which is what I should have been doing. I should have just moved it to another layer first. But for me, my own studies are definitely heavily gimped from where they were when it was still in-person classes. Now, I can get by enough with my online. Like, I'm not failing my classes, per se, but I did drop a letter grade just about in most of them when the first transition happened in this world. And because of that, it's just a chore to try to like claw it up, because while I'm still grasping the material, unless I'm able to grab a study buddy or like a few friends which I can make in every class, which definitely not a guarantee. While I'm doing okay since I have a good amount of Japanese friends, and the teachers at least are very technologically literate, so they can actually like, you know, answer their emails or whatever, or like the chat rooms that we're using very quickly. It's very hard for me to, you know, keep that same level of retention as it was in person instead, or like, you know, get the same level of results is what I think I'm trying to say. It's like, it's funny though too, because one of my teachers, like one of my Japanese teacher, at least for this year, is actually using Discord as our means of communication. We have one server for both the class itself, and one server for all the Japanese sections all together, like in the in all of the university that we're at. That way we can have all questions directed towards our certain class in one place, and then if people just want to chat, hang out, play games, or just ask advice from like their seniors and peers, we have another Discord, which is super convenient and honestly a great move on their part for using, like, for Discord is one, well, we're gamers here, I mean we're on Twitch, but two, also for it's like, you wouldn't have seen anybody else really like using that outside of their email, so the fact that it's like, hey, this is how we're gonna really communicate in and outside of our class. Like, I'm even having some assignments to where, hey, just, you know, have a conversation or, like, you know, talk back and forth to one of the people here in Discord is super cool. It's just super convenient that way. Gotta restart the next music track, so hold on just 1 second. But yeah, I do the best taking like notes in person. Just if I can like see the, if I can hear the word being like sounded out, seeing like the stroke order and whatever, that's the easiest for me. Now, it's not the biggest problem for me to try to, like, for me to just, you know, see the lectures online and take notes on it, but, you know, it's just a different experience, I just gotta get used to it. I think I'm gonna commit to pulling the chair away from the desk like I've been doing. I'm gonna need to pull another reference picture for the legs themselves, though. Here we go, 5 wheels is the way to go. Now I might need to adjust where these little handles are coming from, because they're coming from this very side of the chair itself, instead of coming from just, well, yeah, the anatomy of it wasn't panning out to be perfect. I need to draw the little lever on the side just to make it stick out, and then we'll go on to like the cylindrical bases. I'm trying to make it so that it actually has, like, you know, a little pumped end, but I think I'm making it too fat with a marshmallow tower. Yeah, it's a little too fat. Oh, whatever. I'll fix that in time. I'll just draw a straight enough line to go with it. Yeah, that's way fat. I might just scratch that completely, honestly. Let's scratch that real quick. And instead, I'll just, you know, this is sketch time, We'll draw like the octopus feet going out for a little bit, because I am not the best at drawing this kind of art, so we'll see how this goes. I'm kind of pausing the topic right now because I want to get my rough idea out on how I want to get the sketch. Could easily do it on lines like this. Let's just extend this out for just a second. And here we go. Now, I think I remember if like 3 types of learning is like visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Yeah, that's how it was. Most of them like made sense just by the way that you hear it, yeah. Visual, you learn the best by seeing it. Auditory, you learn the best by just kind of like listening to it, I guess, if you're listening to instructions. Now, for me, if I can just see how it's done, and that, if I see it done, and then I'm told, here, you try to do it, it's your turn to try. Well, that's obviously going to be like the easiest for me to understand and grasp my knowledge around, because I get that muscle memory of doing it myself. Because of that, it's like, I don't have a problem with the other styles, but it's just so much harder for me to just be like, okay, Pythagorean theorem for math, for instance, minus b with, like, minus b square root -4 AC, which you multiply those minus c divided by 2. I don't even know if that's correct. But it's like, if I was just like shown like a picture of Pythagorean, I can't speak it. If I'm just shown a picture of that whole, wait, no, that's not even how it's supposed to be. Is it? I may just be talking right out of my head, but hopefully you get my idea. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? That whole triangle theme or so. If I'm shown like a math formula, and then I'm told, hey, here's how you do it, or this is what I'm trying to illustrate. Bear with me here. Is it a minus? No, wait. Is it 4ac minus b or c? I don't even remember. Over 2a, like this whole thing here. If you just show me this formula and then ask me, okay, here we go, use it for like your homework or so, I might be able to do it by like just like brute forcing it, but I'm not gonna remember it immediately if you just show this to me in the lesson plan at all. And then I can't even think about how somebody would be able to do it by just listening in only. But if I'm shown but if I'm told, okay, here's how you do it. Numbers 1, 2, and 3, those are A, B, and C. Plug that into this section, this into here. Plug them in where the letters actually belong with. And I feel like it fits in a whole lot better because I'm actually getting to do it step by step, and my brain's associating it step by step of, okay, this is how this part works, and this part works all together. And because of that, I just feel that's the easiest way that I learn. Now granted, there's a reason why it's called 3 learning styles and it's not just called kinesthetic learning. Of course, the way that I'm going to understand the content is way different from everybody else's, but for me, it's the easiest if I learn by doing. If I learn how to do it just with my own hands, then it flows a lot more naturally to me. Getting back to my previous topic on language especially, I feel like my own growth in me trying to learn Japanese is a bit stinted. Granted, I'm not like 100% honors student, but I'm at least, I have my own genuine interest in the class, and I want to do better in it. However, I'm just like, my own ability to practice with, like, yeah, I still have my friends and resources, but it's different just like sending that message through Discord and how this is done. Or FaceTiming them versus actually having it in person. I don't know if that point makes any relevance at all. That's just like, it just feels like a huge hindrance to my own ability to learn. Once again, that may just be a me thing though, it may just be a me thing, so we'll just have to see how it pans out as time goes on. All that I can really say is I did struggle a bit with the first semester. And pretty much, I got through with a passing enough B. Not a plus, not a minus, but just a B. I was floating around an A before, but then when we transitioned to online, it was just so much harder for me to grasp knowledge. Hey Cruz! Hey Kakarot, how's it going? Just comfy, chill podcast time. Podcast with Proxy. As I'm drawing up my more of my Twitch streams, for like when I'm away and such. Right now, just talking about note-taking and whatever stuff like that. Like school note-taking, and how I best learn. Now I know that I feel my friends are very big visual learners. Like they learn the best by seeing it be done. But I'm just like, I'm so used to being towards seeing, okay, here's how you do it, now it's your turn. You do it, and then I'll tell you if you did it right or not. What software is this? It's called Krita. Krita. I'll type it out in chat for you. But it's a free software you can get online, and I know a few of my friends, themselves have used it, so it's reliable enough. Like actual artist friends. I'm still very new to digital because I prefer, physical pen and paper for art and such. But hey, if they tell me it's a good resource, who am I to argue with them about it? Looking at this now as I have it zoomed out a bit, I think this is perfect to account for my very, very short height. Yes, I'll be very happy with that. I'll be very, very happy with the progress I have so far. And hopefully you've been doing well enough, Kakarot. I had a long enough, day with work and, of course, school. But hey, it's been going well enough for me. And I'm just chilling, enjoying my night and making more progress towards that eventual debut as always. Ooh, I use Autodesk Sketchbook? It's also pretty good. You might want to send me that link or so. I'm just using Krita because I've gotten a few friends that tell me how this kind of works or so, but hey. At the very least, it still works enough for me, but I'm not opposed to trying out to trying out new software. I really don't know what's the fit for me yet, because I'm still 100% new on digital art anyway. Okay, wait, well, not 100% new. I know, of course, big names, Corp Studio Paint, GIMP, etc., etc. But at least for my own experience, I just haven't. You've probably seen, especially, that I do a lot of pencil and paper drawings for whenever I'm announcing streams and such. And that's just because it's way easier, in my own eyes, to use it. Let's see here. I think I'll start a new layer. And then what I'll do with that layer here is draw my actual keyboard, mouse, setup, whatever, stuff like that. But back to what I was talking about just a second ago or so. Especially for online, I know some people are really like big savants of being able to type their notes out. It was always a pretty contentious topic between teachers, both a few years back when like laptops were allowed at at the schools that I've gone to, and also like now well, I guess nowadays with most classes being online for most schools, teachers really can't stop it. But taking notes on your own laptop, for instance. I get that you may be a fast typer, and I'm a decent typer on average. I'm not hitting triple digits with my words per minute, but I'm always floating around like those high 90s. But for me, I can't do online. I can't take my notes online. It just doesn't feel right to me because I'm not getting that same rendition of like writing down or jotting down, hey, the important facts that I need to remember on pencil and paper versus online. And I'm still doing that as well. I'm still super used to online. To offline note-taking. I still have, like, I'm still reusing some spirals for this school semester especially. Do I have enough room for the monitor itself? Definitely so, as we're thinking about it. Let's draw this stand out a little bit. Might want to just do that on a separate layer real quick. But I've tried taking notes online, but I find that it just doesn't fit right with my own style. Like with like my own brain on remembering things. I can't, it doesn't feel right to just like, hey, Control F, find the notes that I have here or so. It just, maybe it's just a me thing with how I learn, but this monitor isn't sitting right on the computer. Exactly. We draw the stand facing forwards. That's the problem. Okay, fix it. Let's fix it then. Now let's draw it on a different layer. As always, I'll just store it layer by layer. Keep it nice and easy like that. But it just doesn't sit right to me. Now this is my own opinion on the subject at hand. What's the word? Monitor. I've seen the notes on the monitor itself and trying to flip through like Microsoft OneNote or whatever software people use, Word, Notepad, whatever. I just don't feel like it's actually correct for me to do. In my brain, I can't retain that same knowledge, and it still does not sit right enough with me at all. Now, if I still like have all of the notes, pen and paper, I still have them all from throughout my years, and I keep them up. And I find it just like, it's just that much easier for my brain to always remember it if I can just get my hands on it, physically see where I did, and especially for me as well, I did a lot of doodling for whenever I did a lot of doodling in classes. One, because I need to stay awake, but two as well, if I'm like taking history and I'm told it's like, oh, the Vikings then took over Greenland and whatever stuff like that. If I can draw myself like maybe a funny Greenland meme or whatever to go with it, or you know, something that makes me remember how I was taking the notes, then that just helps me out just a little bit more. And granted, while you could do that with a stylus or so on your laptop, or like a tablet like I'm using right now for drawing, it's still like nothing fits right enough for me. I'm just rambling on about the same point, but it doesn't mess with my brain right enough. I know a few of my friends, for instance, one of them swore by taking notes on laptop, like 100%, he wouldn't have it any other way, and he scored pretty high in the classes that I took with him. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, necessarily. I'm not saying that it's a taboo thing to take notes online, but that style worked for him. It just doesn't necessarily work for me, you know? Here, let's draw my phone, at least in the side here as well. I could draw the tablet on the side. Draw it out with maybe the stylus sitting by. I don't think I left enough room for the stylus. I could use the line tool, but I'm kind of committed to this right now. Okay, screw it. Nope. Line tool, here I come. Better. Do I want to downsize this possibly? Oh, you know what? You know what else I'm forgetting? I'm forgetting the speakers on the side. I'm not gonna draw the wirings or worry about it, because that's just gonna be clutter right here. But no, yeah, it'll just be cleaner if I leave it like this. I'm just gonna draw the speakers next. Monitor and speakers for this layer. Oh, still on line tool. Let's just scroll around a little bit. I don't have two big speakers here, but they do glow RGB with the rest of my setup, so that's pretty nice, I've got to say. Most of my setup is RGB. I don't know if I'm gonna highlight that necessarily. I might just clutter up the colors a bit. We'll see how it goes. For now, let's save this draft real quick. I don't want to accidentally X out and lose all of it. Save it as an intermission file. We'll keep this going. Yep. The music stopped for just a moment. Sorry if I'm being a little bit quieter now. I just got stuff going on in the background. So that'll just give me a little bit of a chance to touch things up a bit. I think this will be fine enough for a preliminary sketch. Should be a simple enough screen anyway. So I guess I could start inking. I'm just gonna have the big text on both top and bottom next. I don't have anything else interesting since I don't need to draw myself if it's intermission. I think my brush tool kind of froze on me for a second there. Here. We'll get to enjoy the music for a little bit. So I need to focus up on this inking. Is that straight? I can't quite tell. Straight enough. Now, let's take a measure back. I think that's fine enough for now. Oh, you're a little tilted at the front, but we can fix that. Okay. Family was just in the room, but they just exited, so I think I should be a little bit finer to talk now. I just had to turn down my own audio side, because I didn't want their sounds to be overlapping too much. Where are you gonna use this? Well, I'm actually probably gonna use it on my own streams itself, Kakarot. The main thing that I've been doing with all of my drawing streams recently is the fact that a lot of it just goes towards my own Twitch career. If you look down at my panels, like all of it, the about me, chat rules, FAQs, and whatever, all of those little sketches were done by me myself. I didn't commission anybody, mostly because, well, I don't have much money to spare. So I'm skimping by, and instead, I'm taking it as a good opportunity to better my own drawing skills. Those are all done by me, and here, if you give me one moment. Like, for instance, I had another screen, which I'll transition into right now, which is technical difficulties. In case anything really does go too stuffed too bad. So hey, that works enough. And because of that, it's very easy for me to now make more stuff instead of having to commission. Because one, no money, and two, well, if I can make it work for myself, and I'll be happy with the product. But yes, this will probably just be one of the stream overlays I put up whenever, you know, I need to use the restroom and such. So here, let's turn the rest of the desk back on. So I still need to draw the lines out for this. Nope. Got people in the room again, so I'm gonna have to chuck this off a little bit, or not talk as much for just a second. That's great. That's very good to hear, coming from you especially. It's knocking out two birds with one stone, nice and easily. Is that fine enough for the desk? Not even, but it'll do. I'm not so happy about this line. Excuse me, drawing software. I erase this line, for instance. Yeah, that looks much better. I'll get back to my topics as soon as I can, though. But for the moment, I'm gonna have to be a little bit more quieter. Okay, I think that's gonna be the last of them for tonight, so I can get back to talking a bit more. Sorry about that now. Of course, it's during my podcast stream that it has to cut off like that. But hey, I have to, be more quiet than just one of my gaming streams. It's not as entertaining. Oh, I'm lagging a bit. Okay, I think that's a lot better now. But yeah, sorry again about the relative quietness. I can't be disturbing too many people now, so I had to keep my voice down, especially when I'm streaming this late at night. Which doesn't lend itself well to podcasting, but hey, there's that. If you want to check out some of my artwork, I can DM you on Discord. You can go right ahead, Catron. Or if you want to, you can just share it out in whatever servers that we're in together. If you're confident enough for that. I'm open to always sharing it among my friends' successes and whatever they do. It's always super nice. Now here, let's actually get back to the topics at hand. I think I exhausted my own spiel on studying. Once again, visual, auditory, no thank you, kinetic, like actually learning by doing, I learn the best with. So here, let's transition to the next thing, which is very relevant, because if we were sponsored, I'd be making some nice money off of it. Hopefully you're hearing that in the background, because this is semi-sponsored by Mike and Knights. I got myself a nice big 1.5 pound badge, I believe. 1.8 pound badge, right next to me. And I'm just kind of chewing on it as the day goes by. But candy, candy, candy. Not a moment goes in my life to where I wish I wasn't chewing on a piece, cause oh so sweet, oh so much keeps me from running my mouth in public. As you can kind of tell, if I get the chance, I'm a very talkative and chatty, friendly person. If I get to expose myself out. But that's aside from the point. What candies do I like the most? Well, let me start with, or let me separate things out. For anything chocolate related or so, this is just a my opinion thing. Oh, this is just my opinion, but I just like the nice, easy milk chocolate. I don't dislike dark chocolate or anything else in the chocolate lines, but it's just kind of like, it's an alternative, but I don't have any strong feelings towards or against them. Milk chocolate, I just see that as just like the one simple chocolate that I like, and as such, it's just super easy for me. And it's super easy for me to like, enjoy, and that's only my piece on it. As for actual pieces of candy, the ones that I probably eat the most of is anything gum. Let me hydrate for just a second. That's nice. But anything like 5 gum is the one that I've been chewing on the most recently, especially. But if there's any, if I can get my hands on any piece of gum, Trident, juicy fruit, anything else like that or so, I'm not gonna say no to a free piece of gum, because I just eat that stuff up so much on a daily basis. Extra, too. If I can get some of the more fruity flavor, if there's more fruity flavors that are offered, 5 has, I think, strawberry watermelon, for instance. Spearmint's always a great choice as well. I very much so love those fruitier choices, because the mint, it just always tastes the same to me, whatever it comes out to be in the different gums. But the fruits make the flavors stand out, and that's what, especially for me, is what sells me the best on it, with the flavor lasts a lot longer. As such, anything on the fruity spectrum, I will just happily chew and chew, because as long as you don't tire of having a piece of gum in your mouth for more than like 30 minutes, an hour, however long people usually chew. Well, like it lasts me a lot longer than, you know, buying myself a pack of Skittles or M&Ms and just blowing through it completely in like 5 minutes, just because like I feel like I'm not eating anything. With gum, if I'm buying the whole pack, I'm not going to consume all 9 stits or all whatever stits come in a pack, all in just 1 hour. Maybe it's just because it's like, oh, it's an easy way for me to penny pinch in that sense, but also, hey, it lets me, like, you know, ration out in a way how much I'm eating, how much gum I'm actually, how much candy I'm actually chewing out. Let's draw the top pillow as well now. But while I'm at that, M&Ms. Ooh. The different, like, M&Ms always is on a roll with the different kinds that they're always including. Regular M&Ms are fantastic. Peanut M&Ms? Pretty good. The crunch is pretty addictive once you have a few of them or so. Pretzels? Oh, whoever came up with that idea of pretzel M&Ms, you took that crunching peanut, the crunching peanuts idea, and just threw it up a whole nother a whole nother level. Because that just like, ooh, hearing that nice crunch and getting all those little pretzel crumbs in your mouth once you bite into a pretzel M&M. Oh, so delicious. Such the best. Mwah. Give me those any day. Those are amazing. But the one that tops me, the one that tops it for me for M&Ms, the peanut butter fields. Ooh, baby. Once again, those M&M company wraps or so, they are on a very, very hot roll. It's super, super good to me. Throw it up in my tummy. I know that there's a few other flavors or like, you know, variations of M&Ms, but I haven't really had much of them. I think there is a dark chocolate M&Ms if I remember correctly. But I just haven't actually tried it, honestly. So I don't have the strongest opinions. As for the ones that I have tried, oh, those, like, once again, pretzel, peanut butter, mwah, so good. Hey there, Mad Hazard. Get the pretzel ones and the pretzel ones. You eat one of each. Did you mean pretzel and like another one? Or did you really just mean 2 pretzels together? I mean, not gonna argue, pretzel M&Ms are still pretty good. And 2 pretzel M&Ms. Hey, not gonna say no to that. Now, as for, I guess I'll go on to Theater Bots Candy. I've always had a soft spot for nerds, especially. Sorry, I meant peanut butter and pretzel ones, well. Usually, I'm trying to limit myself to only buying one of, like either one or the other. But heck, I love the peanut butter, I love the pretzel ones, and if I can combine the two, why not? That one taco commercial, why not both, you know? It would probably taste amazing. That's what I'm feeling. I love peanut butter and chocolate with my pretzels. I used to melt chocolate chips in my peanut butter and dip pretzels in it. You know, are you saying that? It makes me think of like, oh, the chocolate fondue fountains and whatever that they have at weddings, and how like there's always a trend of dipping whatever it is that you want in there. Or like, you know, that trend of deep frying whatever. Deep fried ice cream, for instance. You never would have put those 2 words together, but then once you actually try it, it's actually an amazing thing, for instance. But maybe I'll save, like, overall snacks for another conversation topic. Let's get back to my candy preferences. For Bots Office, Bots Office is still, like, you know, Theater Bots candies or so. I've always had a very, very soft spot for nerds, just, like, it's literally crystallized sugar, but I had so much of those as a kid that I really, like, that's just right, I will stand by them. They're just, you know, it's just, there's something very, very, you know, like, nostalgic to me about getting to just get a whole handful or just like slide the bots and hearing all the nerds tumble around as they get through that little, you know, pull tab to open slot nearby. And the fact that like I can get basically 2 flavors of it, of either putting it in my mouth and crunching it right away, or letting the candy coating kind of like simmer away to reveal just the literal piece of sugar underneath. It feels like 2 different flavors that I'm getting out of it, which is just super, super delicious. I say, being very, very biased so towards nerds, but hey, it's my own personal bias, and my bias says I like nerds. After all, I am a big one. Oh, by the way, I don't think I actually said it myself too, but Chatroot, those DMs, those are pretty freaking amazing. Much more than I can do myself, honestly. But hey, it's something to work towards. And I gotta say, like, have you posted those out on social media or so? Because they are just amazing. Those are very, very clean. Nerds are damn good. Did you ever have Nerds Rope? I love those. So, this is just a purely, my point on Nerds Rope that I'm gonna have here is purely just all in, this is just my own bias, but while I love Nerds, I can't justify the cost of, it's like, at the grocery store, for instance, you could buy a box of Candy Nerds, right, the whole box itself, for $1, just like in theaters. But the Nerds Rope usually is the same thing, and yet, at least like to my eyes, I'm paying for like 1/10 of the bots that I'd actually get with Nerds. I'm just getting like the only extra thing I get with it is the rope. So it's like, while I do like Nerds Rope too, I just don't feel like the cost is justified. Especially if like, you know, what little spending money I do I do put to the side that doesn't go in my savings for a rainy day already. I want to be as frugal as I can, and while yes, I may treat myself like I do with my huge Mike and Ike pads, it's like, okay, if I'm gonna buy candy, I want to get my literal 1 butt's worth out of it. So if it's like, oh, you're giving me Nerds or Nerds Rope, I'll take the whole box instead of the rope that has like 1/10 of a box. Haha, thank you, I do post on Instagram. Go ahead and plug it later into the Discord or so. I don't have one myself, but I'll certainly share it with some of my friends. I only really use Twitter, and even then, I only used it for starting out VTubing here anyway. But let's see here, I know that a lot of people love, Swedish Fish, for instance, is one popular one that I see all the time. I'm pretty fine with Swedish Fish. It's not my first go-to pitch. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should make a candy tier list as a stream idea, just because. I might do that just because I can. Swedish Fish, not my first draft pitch. Not bottom of the barrel. If you give me, if you say, hey, do you want some Swedish Fish? I'll be like, yeah, sure, if you're not gonna have them. I'll certainly take them off your hands. They're fine enough, but they don't stand out to me to be like a, oh, mom, or like, oh, wallet. There's Swedish Fish that they have on sale. It's going for like the same $1 as it always has been. I've gotta get it. Nah. I'd rather just like, you know, save up to like the $3 or $4 and then buy myself that pack of gum, you know? Now then. What others? I guess I'll pull up Bots Office Candy Nets. Theater. Candy. Ooh, crunch. Crunch. I love the taste of them. I love letting them melt into my mouth and then getting that nice, juicy, as the name implies, crunch out of them. What I don't like is, because it is chocolate, and due to the nature and size of the bars themselves, how little they freaking last. I'm paying for my whole $1 with it, and yet I'll crunch into it, get that satisfaction, and then it's just basically gone, you know? Out of my hands already. Like, I'm paying a whole $1 for this, and yet it's not gonna last me more than just a few seconds, as opposed to, once again, like gum or the whole bots of nerds. It's fine. It falls into that same line as my philosophy with Nerd's Rope. Am I going to, like, I want to make it last. And so, I'm going to put my dollar towards something that lasts. Now then, for something that especially does last, look no further than those everlasting gobstoppers. The tastes themselves, not the most outstanding, but the fact that it'll swirl around in my mouth enough until it gets soft for me to, you know, chomp down, crunch on, is nice, because I'm only ever going to put one in my mouth at a time. Any more would feel like a waste of the bots of gobstoppers, and since it's a whole theater bots of it itself, it will definitely last me a long time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No, I should just draw this going in. Let's not worry too much about how it actually looks. Now, I know that chewy gobstoppers are a thing. I've tried them out. I wouldn't label them as gobstoppers necessarily. In my book, it just, like, you know, if you're making the gobstopper chewy, you're missing part of the point of the gobstopper, which is if you, like, of letting it soak in your mouth to the point where it gets chewy. Oh, well, it's not chewy, rather. It's more or less the flavor is sucked out, and then you just crunch on the ball that's left over. Chewy gobstoppers, if I want more flavor, I'll just get another candy. It doesn't stick out to me that much. Now then, I guess I'll also cover in the same vein the big crunchy nerds. They're nice. The flavor certainly is there. And while it is a very different alternative to the regular nerds themselves, same philosophy. I'll just, like, it's not gonna last me as long. I'll get the regular bots of nerds just because I know for a fact that it will last me a bit longer, you know? Let's see, going on from that. Dots. Always the candy that I'm like, meh about when I go out for Halloween. It's fine. Flavor's okay. Chewiness, I used to love as a child. Now, I'm like, it's just fine enough. But the one thing that I just can't stand about dots, maybe it's just like I didn't think about it much as a child because I just was happy to get candy in my mouth, is the fact that it gets stuck in your mouth. Like, stuck in your teeth. All over. Like, holy crap. Do I hate trying to get a toothpick to find all of the dots. To find all of the residual dots still in my mouth. Because it's like, I'm gonna have more pain trying to get them out of my mouth than actually enjoying eating them up. Let's see here, Butterfingers. The chocolates, I guess I'll just generalize it, but the chocolates, they all fall into the same argument vein of, they're nice, I just wish they lasted longer, because I'm going to eat them up, or it's like, or with the nature of the chocolates, it's like, okay, it melted in my mouth or so. Maybe I'll have one more, because it barely lasted me at all, and then it doesn't last you at all. It will never last you at all. But the Butterfingers are good. No complaints there from them. Let's see. Junior Mints. I know I said that for the drum argument, most of the mints do taste the same to me. Junior Mints with added chocolate on them, they do taste I'm stuttering. They do taste pretty different from the regular, I'm comparing just mint to a winter mint and whatever from gum. But they're pretty nice. I feel like that they last longer than most chocolates, invalidating my whole entire argument of chocolates don't last enough. But I don't know if it's just a me thing, but every time I get Junior Mints, there's always that like one huge cluster of 5 or 6 mints melted together. You guys know what I'm talking about? Sorry, was hydrating. But with junior mints, more than anything, it's always like I grab the side of the box, and I find that it's super sticky, because like 5 of the mints just got stuck in the corner, and proceeded to melt all together. Like, what the heck? It feels like a waste because it's like, okay, I can easily just I can put it apart, but one, I'm gonna feel a little bit disgusting picking apart the melted mints from, well, the melted mints, and two, I tried putting all the mints in my mouth at once from that huge cluster, and oh, that's more like a minty chocolate overload, and it feels like your mouth is full and you're wasting the mints. Just like straight up, honestly. You are wasting those mints, straight up. Let's see here. Sugar babies? Ooh, sugar babies. I don't go out of my way to get them, I guess because I never really had too many back as a child, but they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice themselves. I still go out of my way for them much, maybe because I just didn't have too much for it. Too much as a child to really imprint of like, okay, this is one of my favorites, kind of like I did with Nerds. It's just fine. Let's see here. Reese's Pieces? Reese's Pisces. Oh jeez. Didn't have too many before. I tried out my first box of them actually maybe just like a few weeks ago, and it was just fine. It's there. Not too outstanding. Raisinets? Usually it would either be my I don't buy them too much, but my sister does all the time, and well, I just kind of leech off of them. They're pretty freaking good. I never thought that chocolate covered raisins, or like, you know, flavored colored raisins would be pretty good. But hey, they made a killing off of it, and there's a reason why Raisinets exist now, so heck, if it works for them, all the better. I just never had Raisinets until maybe like last year itself. And every time that I see that, it's like, oh, raspberry flavored Raisinets, I'm like, wait, what? I might as well try it sometime, but I never really thought that, okay, we warranted some raspberry flavored Raisinets. Let's see here. Like, were Raisinets just a recent invention, or are they pretty new? Like, I really do not know. Like, honestly, were they just very recent or nah? Here, I'm just doing this super zoomed out so I can get a better picture. Cheers uneven. If you get a chance to try them, they make yogurt covered raisins. They're way better than I thought they would be. Yo, seriously? Well, like with Raisinets, I didn't know that they existed till just a little bit ago, and now you're telling me that there's yogurt flavored raisins, yogurt covered raisins. Yo, is there like a brand? Is there a name brand that's already taking advantage of this or not? Because this is news to me, and I might want to get on this train while I can. I am learning tonight, and this is fun. Let's see here, what else? Skittles? Skittles. I am not too strong on Skittles. They're fine, but if I had a preference between M&Ms and Skittles, I'd get M&Ms. Even if it's just base M&Ms, I'd just get base M&Ms just because I like the flavor of chocolate melting more than I do that I guess, like, you know, sweetness of Skittles. It's fine. I honestly don't know. The funny thing is that the only place I've had them from is Walmart. Actual Walmart great value brand. Whoa, this will actually let me transition into one of my favorite candies here. Thank you, Hazard, for mentioning this out. I'll take a look next time I'm shopping. Well, actually, no, Gran just did her grocery shopping today, so I'll just have to look for an excuse next time I'm out. But, Cherry Sours. I got introduced to Cherry Sours maybe like 2 years ago from one of my friends in uni when we were out at a gas station and they bought some for me to share. They let me try some, and it introduced me to like, oh gee, wow, this is really, really good. I did some shopping around, being like, okay, what brand, what store would have the best cherry sours? What brand exactly carries the cherry sours, like the end-all be-all ones? From gas stations to name brand stores, and I'm telling you, Walmart's brand, or great value brand cherry sours are the freaking best. And you will not change my mind on that, like seriously. Cherry sours at Walmart are amazing, like unironically amazing. You get so much in that great value pack. They have such good flavor, both like when you're sucking on them and when you actually do chew. When you actually do decide to chew on them, it's a very nice and consistent sour flavor. And once again, great value, $1, and they made so many of those. Like I've only like gone to like Walmart like once or twice when I didn't see cherry sours still on their shelves, because like they were sold out or so. Walmart brand stuff, it can be pretty hit or miss, but I'm telling you, if you haven't tried cherry sours before, you're going to need to, because those things are amazing and I will stand by them proudly till the end of my days. Because it's like, I've tried the other ones. Target has an okay cherry sour, but it, like, the batch itself isn't as big, and it's more sweet than sour more than anything. Gas stations, you're paying $2.50 or so for gas station cherry sours, and you already know it's not going to measure up to the same amount that like a name brand like Walmart, Kroger, Target might have. Kroger's cherry sours? Not sour at all. They're sweet. They're okay. But if I'm like, I'm gonna grab myself cherry sours, I'm looking for sour. If I'm looking for sweet, I'll look for something sweet. Oh geez, I'm lagging a little bit. Hello software, please pick me up. Jeez. Hopefully, okay. My connection's doing a little spotty. I'm hearing some thunderstorms in the background. I'll keep this going on for just a bit more, because I'm gonna finish this sketch up. But hopefully things go well enough. Or hopefully I'm not breaking up too much. I know that my own capture is lagging a little bit. I'm just gonna type it out in chat just to make sure. But let's see here. Going on from that, Sour Patch Kids? They're pretty nice, I've got to say. Like, because it's like, you know, sour taste buds kind of like stay up if you have too much at a time or so. I definitely feel like I can just limit myself to, you know, a little bit in the pack per day. And not have to worry too much about it. It's like, okay, hey, I'm going to blow through the whole bag, because otherwise my taste buds themselves would blow themselves out. Yeah, you seem good now? Cut out for a minute? Yeah, I saw that my model was lagging, and then I heard some bad thunderstorms in the area, so kind of expected part of that. But hey, look, I wanted to stream tonight, and I'm still getting to stream and relax and make some progress in my art at least. So hey, if I can be productive in that way at least, then I'll be darn productive. And if, well, stream dies, you're gonna get to see me at least talk about my favorite candies before it dies. Or, you know, my rankings of candies and such like that. Now, let's get on to the next things. I know, like, Sour Patch Kids, they're fine enough to me, but they've been really trying to innovate more of like Sour Patch Heads, to where the head is a different flavor from the body, for instance. Or, the Sour Patch Tropical that they just had out recently. Excuse me, can you draw? Thank you, friend. And those are, like, honestly, that's, like, that marketing is fine enough. Because me seeing it's like, oh, a new Sour Patch Kids flavor. I might as well try it out, see what the fuss is about with it. It's worked enough. I just discovered that there's a Sour Patch Kids that's flavored after Crush, the, you know, the orange and grape soda. So I was like, huh, really? I wasn't planning on buying Sour Patch Kids, I'm just planning on buying this Mike and Knight like almost 2-pound bag for myself to last. But hey, might as well try it out, and so I did. And it was pretty nice. That Sour Patch Kids Crush, it's a lot sweeter, but the kids themselves seem to be a lot smaller. I don't know if that's just, like, maybe it's just because I haven't had too many Sour Patch Kids recently, but you know, they just seemed a little bit smaller than what I'm used to seeing out of them. Now, on to the next things. Lemon heads? By themselves, they're fine. That putteriness from the lemon heads, I can deal with enough, but it's not enough to make me be like, you know, I'm gonna go out of my way to buy lemon heads. The lemon head and friends, where you get the other flavors, now that's pretty nice, I've got to say. When you get like the cherry, the grape, etc. with it, that's not bad at all. That is certainly not bad. And I will go out of my way for that, because it's more than just a lemon head, so getting all those additional flavors to go with it at the end. Now, what I was getting on to next is how I have almost 2 pounds of Mike and Knights next to me. Mike and Knights are super good, and it's pretty fruitful, honestly. You get so many in the boxes, like, not even kidding. And like for the a pound and a half that I have, just like I don't know what makes it, what makes them this way, but it's like I'm not going to eat like a whole box of Mike and Ites in one sitting. Maybe it's just about their shape and so it's a little obtuse that way or so, or I don't know. Maybe it's just even a me thing, but for me, the Mike and Knights will last me for a long time because I'm not, like, they're fruitful enough, and when I saw them, I'm not gonna think to myself, I'm gonna have one immediately after another. I'm only gonna maybe have 1 or 2 in this sitting real quick. You know, I feel like I'm not just going to eat it all in one go. Which adds to how long it lasts me. Which is super huge. And the fact that I have a pound and a half, this is going to last me for quite a while. Like, quite a while. On that second note, the fact that Mike and Ites also has like the tropical flavors and then like the Mike and Ites 10 flavors in one box. Oh, mwah, super good. That is, you are giving me more reasons to keep eating you, Mike and Ite. Cookie dough bites. Oh ho, cookie dough bites. All the different ones that they've done, the different flavors, so great. Cookies are great. Cookie dough bites themselves. Ooh, sign me up, lad. That is some good stuff. I wish you had more in every box, but at the same time, it's cookie dough bites. I'm not gonna say no to that. I would gladly go out of my way to buy some of that. Like, very gladly so, will go out of my way to buy some of that. Now, my favorite, right, I guess, different flavor of cookie dough bites might just be the nice original. I just heard a lot of storm noises in my background, so I think definitely might just actually cut out sometime. But hey, you know what? I'm saving every other second or so, every other edit that I'm doing with this drawing here. So if I do cut out, I'm not gonna at least lose too much progress, and everything's backed up with the surge protector at least. I have everything plugged into a surge protector here at my desktop. So it'll live. We'll just have to see if I even get on to my Hololive topic tonight. Here for now. I'm just gonna draw straight lines to start for here with the mouse pad, and then I'm going to kind of oh, that's not smoothing the edges. Smoothing it out a little bit so that it's not just a full square, so it's a little bit more rounded, what's a little bit more natural, hopefully. So far so good. Smart there, keep saving. I have lost way too many projects to where I'm always missing, to where it's like, oh, I literally accidentally etched out, and like, yes, so I'm the type of person who will mash through. Are you sure you want to save? No, I don't want to. So I learned my lesson that hard way, and I'm not taking any more chances with that. Instead, I'm just going to save every other edit. Like, not even kidding, like, some of the, like some things I've done, like, for a little Sugoi, one VTuber that I've been following ever since, like, she was planning to debut or so, and who's a great friend. I was working on some fan art for her debut, and I have at least, like, in its own individual folder itself, like, 25 different copies of, like, the line art by itself, the inking by itself, part of it being colored by itself, all leading up to, like, me actually finishing out the whole thing itself, because I'm super paranoid that it would crash at any time and then, you know, not stick around. Okay, I'm at least gonna draw the mouse wires and such. Yeah, I'm just like, ugh. I always catch myself when I'm trying to save my stuff, because it's like, okay, I need to save this. Guaranteed sure, otherwise I'm going to lose it completely and it's going to go down the gutter. That's right, nah. It can stand alone as Bluetooth speakers. So I do have them wired up, but my speakers do have Bluetooth as well, so that'll be fine. Now, do I want to make the whole keyboard layout? You know, might as well. Are there any other candies that I'm missing right now? I'm probably missing a lot of them, but I can... Oh, Spree. I guess I would touch that one last before I transition to Hololive. So at the very least I can finish out my second topic before I inevitably do crash to the storm. But, Spree? Pretty good. Last week, same opinion like the Mike and I would gladly go out of my way for them. And it does last me quite a while whenever I do have Spree. Chewy Spree is on another level as well, like, it can definitely compare. It's just like, you know, it's very, very different. However, the only thing that I don't like about it is that if I'm going to have it, I'm going to need, like, a bottle of water nearby me, just so I'm a very big ice cruncher, for instance. And if I'm chewing up Spree, I'm going to need a water bottle, because all of that's going to get stuck in my mouth. I'm just going to need to, you know, eat that up. Here. Numpad. I guess I'll divide it up, that way I can have the plus and minus like this. But here. Okay, I'm not hearing any thunderstorm noises nearby, but to be on the safe side, once again, constant saving. And I'll get on to my last conversation topic for this podcast while I hydrate. Alright. I'm nice and ready on my hydration. And with that, we'll go on to the last topic that I have for tonight, which is the hole known as Hololive. Oh boy, Hololive. What you have done to me. They're actually my own introduction to VTubing as a whole. So here, let me start out with some basic background information, I guess, as well. For the realm of Hololive, I've known about VTubing for the longest of time because I learned about and follow, and well, I don't watch actively, but I know about Kizuna Ai in the very background of everything, of course, with how popular she has been, building a name brand as one of the first virtual YouTubers. But it was really Hololive that got me exposed more to the scene, and led me to being like, you know, I'll become one myself. The first clip that I had ever seen wasn't even like me jumping into the hole, but just like the Minecraft clip of Nachiri Ayame and her stream of I'll keep going until I get an enchanted book from fishing. Ooh, the luck on that girl to get it within like the first 8 minutes of her stream. It's super, like, that was like the first clip that I had ever seen of Hololive in general, and then it just went on from there. Because I just kept seeing more and more pop up in my recommended feeds. I was like, okay. Cute anime girls playing video games or making funny memeable stuff. Like, after that Nachiri Ayame, it was, well, it was one of the, like, classic series, Aqua and Shion's Minecraft neighbor shenanigans that they've had with each other, with trying to grief each other with their own houses, and the shenanigans that they got through. And that's really when I started digging myself into the Hololive hole. Of just, okay, one more video, one more of like seeing their live stream or so, one more highlights area. And before I knew it, I was sucked into that hole completely. Just watching videos and videos on end from all of the members. I'm glad we subscribed to all of them, though I definitely do have my own favorites. Azora Subaru. Quat. Suba. Oh, she is one of my favorites. She's so peppy, her personality's so energetic, and she's just so lovable to me. She puts in so much hard work with her streams especially. And oh, she's just got a special soft spot to me. She's just got a very special soft spot. Otherwise, the Dancho, Noelle Shirodane, she's super great as well. I'm especially loving her like Getting Over It series as of recently, just because of like, you know, like maybe that's a game I'll play on stream sometime. Just seeing her dedication to try to get better at it, considering that everybody else in Hololive's either a god at it or has basically like, you know, put it off and they're not playing it again anytime in the foreseeable future. It's just super fun to see her motivation at it. That's just recent. Otherwise, other notable ones that I'm always watching, Kiryu Koko, of course. She is the international star for 4th gen. She's great. Like, I could go on and on about each of the members, but I'll just highlight the ones that I've been watching recently. I know that Watame no Uta, her little singing karaoke series, is on hold because she wants to rest up and better her voice. Which is a little sad, because that's one that I always look forward to listening to all the time. Even if I don't understand any of the lyrics. Petora and Miko. Oh, I really hope that Miko gets better, because she is in the hospital now, even during her break. But Petora's like, her up and down arrow laughter is so mimetic, and her trollish personality is just so fun to see on display as well. 5th gen, I'm still feeling around. I'm still like watching their streams, as like, especially since, you know, they've just debuted and had their recent popularity spinning around. But I'm still like, once again, We'll see how they develop over time. I don't have any strong feelings on them yet, though I do have a soft spot for Orami because I love elves. Elves are super cute, and their ears are super perfect and plucky, and oh, I just love them. But, we'll see how it develops for then. Aki Rosenthal is super great because I love her singing voice especially. Her singing voice is super great, and Shaoyis, her own single, her own songs as well, Shaoyis and Netra's A Punch, her 3D ASMR song. Oh, those get stuck in my head so much, like, unbelievably so. Matsuri. Oh, jeez, what are you doing, girl? Super mimetic. I actually don't watch too much of Matsuri, funny enough. But I always see her popping up in highlights or so, so inevitably I'm watching her in the background. Oh, jeez. Ah, that's a lot, and a lot of storming going on right now. And I'm hearing Fedora Eros Katrot. Petro! I don't want to do too out of a voice. I'm gonna annoy my siblings and such. I'll save it for another time. But the Petro. Oh, John Petro. Hololive Sanchigen. He said, oh, Petro des. Petro is just super fun to watch. And her trolling is just so fun. Batwa is so great too, because it's like, she's actually a really good gamer at times, but also her own stupidity leads her to fun. So like, her Super Mario Maker series, the multiplayer, oh my goodness, I've had so much fun watching that when she played it. Just the struggles that she goes through trying to get up to that top rank. It's so hilarious, honestly. That is just super freaking hilarious to me. Here, let's divide up the lines, because I actually need to start doing that now. Is that gonna be super thin? Yes, that's gonna be super thin. That's stuffed. We'll make everything thin, because when everybody's super, nobody will be. Incredibles. But, Oh, I really wish some members got a lot more love. So, Aki is super great to watch, and although you may not be an Arch fan, she's been gradually doing a few more games. Once again, Shaoyis is so great. Kontan mare hiraru sharuis. Oh, just that opening just mesmerizes me so. Not to mention that like she's been doing like a few things that's like I never would have imagined. Like she's been like doing some VOD reviews of like belly dancing lessons, which I'm not interested. So like that's something unique that I never seen any other VTuber do. You know? Hold on a second while I count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Let's see. Oh, come on, Krita, don't freeze on me. Underscore plus minus, and then this is bat space. Perfect. Roboco is super wholesome. I like Herobo. Oh, that's so cute. Melts my heart. So great to hear every time. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to do some counting again here. But the fact that it's like, yeah, just they're supposed to be idols first and foremost. Thank you, based Hoshate Yago-san. But the fact that it's like they've become such a huge cult of personality, centering around like all the memes that they've made, whether it be Matsuri and her, you know, desires and such like that. Like Shion and Aqua's Minecraft neighbor stuff, or of course like their famousness with anything else dragging on. Just the fact that they've made such big careers off of it is just super inspiring, and also probably caused a good amount of the the VTuber boom overseas here especially as well. Granted, it's nothing new after a while, but at the same time, it's just, oh my goodness. It's just huge. And they're a big inspiration as to where I am today now. Because I was really playing games and such a lot with my friends. Just, chilling out, having a real good time, just like, hanging out with them. But then I thought to myself, if I'm like, oh, if I've been watching streaming around for especially a little bit more, why don't I give my hand at it? Broadcast out what fun I'm having, and hopefully I can make a few friends and they can have fun with me along the way. That's basically just where I am with streaming wise. I don't mind if I'm getting as little as no viewers at all and I'm just talking to myself on podcasts, or if I'm getting people to interact with, or even if they're just lurking around. But, hey, this is all for my own enjoyment and for my own bettering of my craft. And as long as I'm happy, well, that's all I'll care about. Of course, the numbers are always going to be in the background, and at least for me especially, I think I'm at like 39 Twitch followers, so 11 away from possible affiliate status to where I can start getting emotes and whatever. So that's a milestone that I do want to reach eventually, but that's something for eventually. I don't mind getting there sometime sooner or later, But here. Let me just be quiet for just a second as I go back around to actually churn out the keys in my keyboard. Q W E R T Y taught QWERTY to me. U I O P bracket other bracket, that'll be enter bar. Okay, see here. Oh, that's a little tilted off. Enter forward slash, oh no, that's backslash, colon, semicolon, L K J H G F D S A. We'll go with it, yeah. Z at C V B N M comma period forward slash shift. Hey, not bad at all, don't you think? Oh, because if I enable the background. Ha! Oh, I'm very happy with this. Not looking bad at all, Cruzy. Not looking bad at all. I could probably fix the wheels, but hey, you know what? I'm gonna keep it that way. I just need to now add the color and add the big intermission text, and I'll be done with tonight. As always, let's keep saving. Let's see. I'm getting there to 20 minutes, just about. Or, I'm getting there to 2 hours, just about. So I'll be making perfect time then. Warrior 6, you're coming down. You are now. Oh. Warrior 7, you are now the color layer. Oh. I'm lagging a little bit once again. I think that should be better now. But here, let's get on to our coloring game, shall we? First color, let's hit the back of the monitor. Let's get the touring you in now, shall we? That's a line tool. Ha! Not gonna be too hard on the colors themselves. Do I want the screen to be brown? Not brown, kind of gray? I'll at least make it darker. Yeah, I'll just stick to a darker color. I want it to be fully black because I still want it to be recognizable as the back of a monitor screen. Here we go. Fill in the edges right about here. I have a few extra keys on my actual mouse too, so I might just want to add that in. We've got the little extra side mouse 4 that I'll add. Scroll wheel, of course. Separate this out. And the little circular logo that goes with it. Yeah, looking much better now. Now we'll go back to our color layer for tonight. But here, while I'm doing this out, I'll get back to my little subject of Hololive, though it's mostly transitioned into just, you know, VTubing in general. From my own experience, or like my own ideas of like, hey, do I think I'm gonna get that far with VTubing? Honestly, no, I don't think so. My own stream quality is very, very low compared to the many others that have debuted before me, or you know, made their names known before me. And you know what? That's just fine. This is just a side gig for me, though if I could do it full time, I'd love to. But as of right now, my own stream quality does not measure up to how much time and effort some people put into their own streams and such like that too. I'm just outclassed, and for very good reasons. However, it's not going to diminish the fun I'm having with my streams. Just because somebody's better at these streams than me doesn't mean— oh gee, I forgot to do one thing real quick. I've got to actually section off these sections, the mouse keys. The arrow keys. There we go. Just because somebody's better at me in streaming, because they can devote more time, I have a better setup, because I know my own internet's very bad. That's not going to diminish too much from me from, okay, am I going, okay, am I really going to be this, continuing to be stressing over how bad my streams are? Not too much so, honestly, not too much. Yes, my quality is nowhere near anybody else's. What is that? But that's not gonna hold me back, because all that I'm doing here is doing this for my own fun. I've echoed this sentiment many times in other streams, but the thing that a lot of people feel like that they need to do is make a huge name for themselves if they're going to be streaming. They want to be that breakout person. They want to, like, you know, have 100 viewers on their first few nights or so. And you know what? Good for them to have those good lofty goals. But as for me, well, I'm just facing reality. The market's very saturated with VTubers already. And I don't offer anything too special to the table besides the fact that, hey, I've got this pseudo podcast setup going on right now. And, well, I'm a very late bloomer from everybody else. So, yeah, I could try to, like, you know, brand myself, get myself out there more. At this is just a side gig that I've got going on. A very, very loose side gig, which I'm only streaming at very late hours in the night, where I'm hopefully not disturbing anybody. But also, the only times that I can really make it work considering my own schedule. As such, I'm just, I'm just a small VTuber making my way through the galaxy. I haven't used any social media before, especially then. So using Twitter and then also, even getting a small notification saying somebody liked my tweet, somebody replied to me or so, is super huge to me because I feel like, hey, I'm doing something in the community and that feels super freaking great. I'm making a difference somewhere. I'm brightening up somebody's day by just saying this one thing or liking their one tweet. So much so that they then also wanted... Why do you keep erasing? Because you're still on gray, that's why. But by liking their one simple tweet, by replying to them, or for the friends I've been able to make, by getting to talk to them directly especially too, is just something super super nice that I never would have gotten to be able to do before. I'm all about the joy in the journey that I'm getting here, as I've made really countless friends. And although my friend group isn't that big here, hey, I'm just here to chill. It's just one chill experience for me. Making friends is the main priority otherwise, and is the main priority. I'm getting to meet big and small names all around. I've already gotten to share my fair share of support with everybody. I've already showcased that a lot in my other stream topics about how I want to be able to help prop up the other VTubers. But as for me, I'll be happy where I stand in my steady growth. You are good, don't worry that much. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm giving off that impression, but yeah, I'm just not too worried about my own growth. It'll come naturally as I get better with time, and honestly, that would just be the universe's way of telling me, hey, you're ready to grow up that little bit more in your VTubing community or so. Until then, I'll be happy with the friends that I've made because it certainly is a very, very new group of friends that I'm getting to hang with, and as such, I'll take everybody, I won't take anybody for granted, and I'll enjoy the time that I get with them, especially out of my busy days, whether it be me actually getting to collab with some of them coming up, or just, getting to talk to them in the same Discord or so. It's just super, super chill, super nice. And the fact that the community is super supportive as well is just the icing on top of the cake. Knowing that, hey, everybody's in this for each other. I'm gonna make a different color for the desktop itself. We'll go with this nice kind of lighter brown. And the fact that you're not underneath the layers. The fact that everybody's super supportive of each other is something I wish more communities could learn. And while, yes, there's going to be the toxic trolls every now and then or so, I haven't had too much run-ins with them. But that's not going, it's not enough to stop me from being like, this isn't the thing cut out for me streaming. If I'm happy, that's the only opinion that matters. And hey, more friends, the more the merrier, right? The only thing that I really will worry about when that time comes will be how well my debut actually goes over. And if anybody shows up too. I know I want to really do a lot of things for it to have fun in the background, but the only thing I really hope is that hey, I do have friends that are true friends and not just fair weather in name only. I'm probably just doubting myself too much or so on this, but because I just kind of started streaming out of the blue, I didn't make a big name for myself at all, and I really didn't mean to, because I'm still woefully unprepared. I don't have any stream assets, I don't have the money to commission, but hey, it's just whatever. And Like I said, this is for the fun of it. I'm not working to chase clout. I'm not working to try to meet my idols necessarily. Though, if I could talk to, like, even just in replies or even collab or so with some bigger name VTubers, that's a huge thing. That would be huge for both my own rep and growing, and also just like a huge, oh my goodness, this is actually happening. I'm getting to meet the like X person in the well, not in the flesh, but you know, in the voice chat, in the Discord. Oh, that's so cool. They're taking time out of their bigger VTuber days to speak with me. That's such a that's a cool prospect, especially like, you know, meeting your famous actors, your famous voice actors, such like that. But it'll come, it'll come. I just hope that like my own efforts will be rewarded sometime, and while it's no rush, I just want to, you know, get that same validation feeling sometime through. But not every night's gonna be like that, and like, it's just the reality of the situation. It's like, I can only keep so many VTuber streams up at a time because there's so many of us streaming around different time blocks. And you know what? Hey, that's totally fine enough. Like, very, very fine enough. There's a lot of us go around, and only so much love that we can really pass at a time. But the fact that we are all super happy and willing to pass around that love just goes to show the support that we're having for each other. It just then really comes down to, hey, who do I prefer in this moment? Who do I want to watch in this moment? Here, let me just get my colors up. For those of which that do sit in with me, well, I hope that I'm offering you entertaining enough content, whether you're watching on Twitch or just chilling on YouTube watching the VODs afterwards. But remember, this is a learning experience and a journey for me to learn more about the internet, social media, and just streaming, editing, everything like that in general. Otherwise, it's all blind, and I'm taking it all in as much stride as I can. It would be nice to have that big growth, and while I would like to have that big enough growth, that will come in time. It's not too much for me to sweat over to the point to where I'll contemplate quitting or anything like that. If I just put in the hard work, then I'll get noticed enough by that, and that's all I can ask for. Honestly, I was a streamer for about a year. I had to stop because I needed to put more time into work due to finances. However, the biggest thing for me is enjoying it, supporting others, and being a part of the community. It's an interesting thing to do with your time and adds another way of productivity to anything you do, such as art or games or what have you. Definitely so! Because I already spent enough time on the internet playing games, supporting my friends, or just working in their streams too. But, you know, it's a learning experience for me to find out, okay, how does this actually work with streaming? How do I actually get this to work exactly? Can I broadcast this out? Because I wasn't streaming before. I wasn't streaming any of my content before. Or rather, I didn't have any content in the market out at all. But if I'm really playing enough, I might as well put it out on the internet to see, right? Because I'm just here to have a good time, vibe, and be with my friends. I'm really definitely not gonna make any money off of donations and whatever stuff like that. But but my time that I've invested into the community, and the love, support, and just everybody cool enough that I've gotten to chill with and make friends with, is more than enough that I've gotten back, honestly. And unless something really dire does come up to where I'm unable to, I'll cherish the time that I get with all my friends right now, as much as I can till the end. Thank you for the import, Hazard, too, because I know, again, I'm completely fresh on the scene. I don't know, a lot of people have had way longer tenures than me, So it's always good to hear another person's perspective on this. So it's like, it's a hobby because, it's like, something's a hobby because you're putting time that you'd be spending anywhere else and sinking into it because you do enjoy it. However, is it like your job that you're trying to make out of it, or is it just your hobby first and foremost? And then that goes a step further of, are you really enjoying the time that you're putting into this? Is it still a hobby to you, or is it something that you have to make your money off of, you have to make your living off of, etc, etc? Are you actually, you know, getting in what, getting out what you're putting in? Oops. Here we go. I'm just doing a little radio silence so I can actually get the rest of this chair sorted out. So I am about ready to go to sleep after I finish this up. I always found it was good because I was playing games and stuff anyway. I never expected to make a job out of it. Of course, for most people that's the dream, however it should probably only be considered as much a hobby and anything else. Definitely so. I think I echoed this back in episode 3 of the podcast, but there's a fine line that like people need to understand as well between it's like, hey, could you make a living off of this versus are you just going to hey, can you actually consider this a job where you can make a living full time, consistently especially? Or is this just a hobby first and foremost? Because with Twitch especially, and with like how easy like streamline the process is to start streaming, and like especially on the creator page, like how you could market yourself out, get your followers to start hearing about your events and whatever. It seems like a pretty easy linear path, but you always but the only time that you ever really hear about this path is from the people who struck gold and made it big. Those big names that came out of the woodwork that you never would have heard of before without streaming software, or without Twitch and whatever as support. You don't ever hear all of the people all of the for every one success story, you don't hear all of the 30, 40, 50, hundreds of people that have tried the same thing and have not gotten the same amount of views, recognition, or ability to, you know, make their job off of it. And unfortunately, that would easily cause a big burnout on them, and I do not blame them in the slightest on that at all. The market just you know, not everybody's gonna pan out to be a winner, unfortunately, and yet a lot of people go into Twitch with that mindset of, I've got to be number one, I've got to be the next big thing. Which is why I want to really, that's once again, why I'm really putting myself out there as a, hey, I'm doing this for the fun of it. I don't care too much what other people think of me, as long as I'm having my own fun and making my friends. But yeah, just it's you make just a lot of people think to themselves okay, I can reach affiliate status, then I can start getting subs and donos and whatever stuff like that. Think realistically as well. Just we have to think to our sides a bit and say, hey, is this really going to happen? Is this really can I consistently make donors? Can I consistently get people to follow me? Etc, stuff like that. Because streaming, at least, unless you already have a massive sub base or so, it's going to take a little bit for your money to, it's not a little bit, it's going to take a while for your money to come in if you're coming out of the woodwork. And unless you are one of those success stories coming in with friends, connections that you already have that can help you out on your way up, you're still going to have to find a way to market yourself, to put yourself on the radar as, hey, you should watch me instead of these other streamers as I can offer this out on my streams and such. Not everybody's going to be able to handle the pressures of being online as well. And so, it's just, yeah, it's just all out of what you want to put in. What expectations are you setting for yourself? As long as you're enjoying it, that's definitely the most important thing. Honestly, people aren't going to want to watch you anyway if you aren't enjoying what you do or what you're talking about. Definitely so, definitely so. Which is why I'm at least trying to tap into what do I find the most joy in, what am I good at? And well, as it's kinda evident by how I've marketed my own self, I think I'm pretty good at upholding my own one-sided conversation and, you know, putting up this little podcast style of things. While I definitely don't have the most knowledge on every subject at hand, I always want to try to bring out the more objective standpoint especially. Because it's like, I'm presenting out my experiences with things, and especially like for today, like how I got into this, what kind of candies that I like. Like how life has affected me, but I also want to hug the other sides of things, with how once again, the more downtrodden VTuber streamers that don't get as much recognition, even though that because there's so much in the market or so. I want everybody just get to take a step back and see the other things, or get to think a little bit more on that especially, and. Well, it's kind of the tagline of the stream, of my podcast as well. It's podcast by Proxy. It's not just my name, but by Proxy is to have it done by somebody else. If nobody else will talk about it, then I will. And frankly, there's a lot of interesting things that people could really be talking about in the world. Or things that just you don't hear coverage of just because it's oh, why talk about this when I can hear hear about the latest Fall Guys news or whatever stuff like that. If I have a topic in mind, I'm gonna want to talk about it, and hey, this is the perfect way for me to put myself out there, be entertaining, hopefully enough to people, and fulfill what makes me happy enough. I think I might want to put a very light white on here. Now, I'll just keep it pure plain white, but first, let's save this. Save you, please. Go back to pure white, and let's disable the background so I can actually see what I'm throwing in here. Oops. Little thing popped up in my Twitter feed. Let's see here. Do I want to make all of this white? Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let's just actually fill it in. Because well, here. Let's also make this a lot easier for myself. Add a layer. Put it at the very back. Make it something obnoxious, color-wise, so I'm never gonna miss it. Like my sister's hair color. There we go. Now there's no way I'm gonna miss the white color. Let me also just hydrate while I'm doing this too. But yeah, VTubing, is still a market audience that people are catering to. You are looking to entertain your viewers in one way or another. And at least for like popularity and fame, you have to ask your question yourself the question, what do I bring to the table that the others in the market audience do not? What makes me unique enough that people will want to watch me over others? A lot of people, they just can't find the right niche, or it's just not the right time for that niche, unfortunately. And it's hard to break out. As for me, well, as always, I'm not fighting for glory. I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for fun. I think I'm beating my own point into submission now since I've mentioned it multiple times on stream. But hey, it's just a chill, relaxed audience that I want to cater, have fun with, and just, generally chill out with here. As the sun insinuates, I gotta keep it real. Will I become Twitch famous? Not in a million years, no. Unless I develop some white magic that lets me become Twitch famous. Not gonna happen very likely anytime soon. It is a good point to cover. Too many streamers lose sight of that, especially the longer that they stream. Maybe it's because I'm going into my classes at uni for business and such, but it's still that big question of, hey, how do I put myself apart from everybody else? There's a reason why it's like out of all the chocolates, I'll use my candy analogy, out of all the chocolates that you eat or so, there's a key difference as to why Hershey's tastes different from M&M's and such like that. Or so. It's still chocolate to begin with, yes, but they use it in very different ways or so. You need to be able to see, okay, what makes me special from everybody else, and how can I keep that market retention up? And because of that, not everybody's able to really do it, especially, and it leads to burnout. Mouse pad, let me just do that real quick, and we'll make that probably like a lighter, let's make it a lighter blue for contrast. A teal, maybe. Yeah, especially with like, because it's like, you hear it all the time too, on the internet. What's the one thing that you need to do to make a name for yourself? Network and market. Market yourself, market yourself, market yourself. Business is in the same way, honestly. Everyone has a business, invention, or app idea. How many of them are groundbreaking or get out of the startup stages? Then you have some that remain there because the owners took pride in it and can keep it going because they love it, and a small group finds them and loves it. Either way, most of it takes time in general. Yeah. Just, so I understand, bringing my own objective standpoint into this, and I'll just reuse it for the same app market thing. You hear the success stories. You don't hear all of those that are still in their growth phase. You don't hear those that never actually got off their feet because they never got the support that they needed. Etc, etc, etc. And streaming is still the same way. You're watching a product or so, it's like TV. Why did I choose to watch this football game over this late night Mexican drama or whatever such like that? Why, it's the same way, why would I watch this streamer over this streamer here, for instance, or so? Let's just make my phone screen dark. And then tablet will bright gray this a little bit more. You still gotta market yourself in a way if you want to honestly make your name. And wow, I said, like, hey, I don't care about my size or so, I still am prone to feeling like, I'm not making any progress at all, or, I'm too small, I want to see if I can't put myself out there. Yes, I don't care too much about the viewers, but still having, that little bit extra push of like, hey, you're doing great, or here, you want to meet this friend of mine or so, they're a great other Twitch streamer, and it's like, oh, really? I could easily make a good friend, market myself out, and provide a bigger name for myself on screen or so. It's an opportunity that I will take gladly or so, because in how the world is today, with how many groundbreaking new things are coming out, audience retention is the main big thing as well, especially. You'd have a few lurkers always in your chat, you'd have people who are passing by or so. They'll take a look and be like, is this really right for me? And you have to keep selling yourself in that attitude of, okay, how do I prove that this stream will be the one that they want to keep watching all the time over? It's that eternal question. I think I don't mind it being like this, the chair. But I want to get rid of that dark green, the dark yellow that I have for it, because it does not mesh well. It messes well with my hair. But nothing else, really. But yeah. You should flip through the channels on your TV super quickly. And the same thing goes with Twitch. You can flip through all the different Twitch streamers and see, okay, do I like their personality? Do I like their voice? Do I like the way that they play their games? If you don't, or if it doesn't match up with all the categories, you could easily just say, I'll move on. There's literally millions of other Twitch streamers in the sea, and I could just keep flipping through till I find somebody that checks all the categories. So a lot of people really want to tap into that and be that one perfect Twitch streamer, which is like, okay, are you really just having fun and being yourself, or are you putting on airs at that point then? Definitely, that made sense. It does take time either way. Keep selling it. Keep going to other streams and meeting people. That's the best way. Then just doing it and crossing your fingers, well, definitely so. My own sister has been in marketing quite a lot. She has gotten her own degrees in business marketing, advertising, such like that. And the main thing that she taught to me about is, yes, the marketing yourself point, super important, lines up completely. You need to make a name, but connections is the other thing. Because it doesn't matter how badly you market yourself, but if you make a name, but if you stand out when you're standing next to a celebrity, people will be like, Hamilton, who is this? Who is this kid? What's he gonna do? I am not throwing away my shot. Really so. What? Because real quick, hold on. If I color in this section, will I like it? I'll see. Because if people are like, oh look, it's Ninja on Twitch. He's playing duos on Fortnite or whatever, or on Warzone. Who's he playing with? He's playing with Cruiser. Who's this person? I want to know more about them. Just being in the close proximity is going to make people want to know more about, hey, who's this person with the streamer and why are they playing with the streamer or so. And that's free marketing at hand, and just having the right connections with, big names and such like that. Okay, yeah, I think I like the gray a little bit more, because it makes the white polo stand out a bit. But it's just those connections. Because, unfortunate as it is, people are cloud chasers. They're going to chase after what gets them the most views or whatever, or, follow the people who will get them the most. And same goes for things. A lot of people are hesitant to try to, follow the one person that's, the person who only has, 7 or so viewers per day, or, under 100 subs, whatever, because they're not sure if it's really, a safe market environment for them to really branch into. But then, it's okay, what about somebody, an established name like Ninja, I'll keep using for my example, streaming out with this person right here? Are they going to be, streaming out with, this relatively unknown person? You already know Ninja's a grounded quantity. Now you're trying to see, okay, what's this friend's like? What are they like exactly? How do they work? Etc, etc, etc. And because of that, you already have, it's like a reference on a resume. You have somebody who basically put in a word for you and being like, yeah, I'm going out to stream with you. I'm just gonna have fun with you there. you wrote yourself the best resume to get yourself into streaming college. Congratulations. And some people get really lucky in that sense too. I mean, I don't have any big names I can throw out because I don't know immediately, but there definitely are probably a good amount of streamers who just got a lucky break from being friends like naturally with big like brand names, right? Once again, my ninja argument for so. Here, can I bold this? Will that be good? Or can I make this a lot larger? Like, what if I do like 108 in font? I'm gonna hope that that's good. Oh my goodness, that's large. I love it, but that's too large. Maybe I'll do like 96 font. 96, and actually I'm gonna need it to be black. I don't know how to re-edit text though, so I guess I'll just redo it from scratch. Delete the vector for me, please, and then we'll just do it again. Bold, italics. Put it in nice big black. I think I'll stick with this green background because it's like a green screen, like, you know, it really is an intermission. We'll be right back. 96 font. Bold. Yeah, that'll fit. And then we'll just add one more layer. $96. Make the text black. Bold, italics, no underline. Hold the pickles. Huh. Well, what do you think? What do you think? All in all, not too bad. Definitely way too much negative space here. But you know what? I'm not gonna sweat it. For what I've done in 2 hours tonight, I'll be pretty happy with that. And granted, it's an intermission screen. I'm hopefully not gonna have to have it too long up. And if I ever do, well, we already know the other alternative. Technical difficulties. A way better screen that I've made. Intermission, I'll just use for the bathroom breaks and whatever, but technical difficulties will be the end-all be-all. But in that case, let's save this out as not only as my own file. I might create a file in case I need to edit this, but as a PNG so I can export it out. Great! In that case, I'll get to call the podcast stream here then. Granted, the last few little minutes here haven't been podcast at all, but hey, it's just me getting to drone on, well, Hololive, it still falls under V2 branch enough, so I'll consider it as such. But as for now, thank you all for joining me on this wonderful night, at least from where I am. I got great progress done, and hey, it's another step towards that eventual debut which I'll always be working on. I'm honestly just surprised that my internet didn't get taken out by the storm, because it was getting really close to my location. But I'll be signing off for now then. As always, everybody, it has been Chartreuse Proxy on, well, Podcaster Proxy number 5. And as always, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and night. And thank you for joining.